I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to make a little bee. This one's made with blanket yarn, but you could make it with worsted weight if you wanted to. It would just be teeny tiny. The ones that I actually make with worsted weight yarn, I actually put on a keychain because they're tiny. These aren't very big either. I make these for my markets and sell them for about $5. They're really popular every year. So we're gonna get started. I use an eye hook because I'm gonna be using blanket yarn. You need a yarn needle, tapestry needle, whatever, you know what it's called. Coarse polyfill. I use 16mm kawaii eyes. We're gonna use black, yellow, white, and just a little bit of pink for the blush. So we're just gonna go in and get started. So I'm gonna start by making a magic circle. And then you're gonna put 7 single crochets inside of your magic circle. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna go ahead and close it tight. And you're gonna slip stitch into the first single crochet in the magic circle, chain 1. Okay, now we're on round 2. And what you're gonna do is you're going to single crochet increase. That means you're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. So in row 1 we had 7. In this row we're going to have 14. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then you just slip stitch into the first single crochet of round 2. Round 2 is done. We have 14 stitches. All right, round 3, we're going to single crochet and then increase. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Slip stitch into the first single crochet of the row. Done with round 3. We now have 21 single crochets. Round 4 is just single crochet all the way around, so 1 in each stitch. So we had 21. We're going to go all the way around, and we're going to have another 21. It works up pretty quickly. Hopefully you guys are just crocheting right with me. All right, so before you finish your last stitch of round 4, you're going to change to black. And before I pull it, the last one through, I always like to tie a double knot because I don't want anything to come apart. So this is round 5. We're going to half double crochet all the way around, just 1 in each. So 21 half doubles in black all the way around. Okay, and then whenever I get done with this row is when I usually stop. Well, go ahead, right before you finish that last stitch, go ahead and switch back to the yellow. And then slip stitch into the first half double of round 5, chain 1, and this is when I always stop and put my eyes on. So I always try to put the beginning of each row, like the slip stitch, on the bottom of the bee. Just, it's not that noticeable with blanket yarn, and you could do a continuous round, but then that's just a preference I have. So whenever you put the eyes in, put them between, I think rows 2 and 3 looks the best to me, and I try to center his face where the rows end. And I try to do them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches apart. So what are we going to say? This is a clock. let's say 9:30 and 2:30. Okay, and then if you haven't seen my video I have on TikTok of how to secure these really well so they won't come up, I'll just show you now. So I always turn it over, take my yarn needle, and then pull a loop up, loop it over from either side, just so it won't wiggle around or come out. And then you just secure the back. These are really strong, these 16mm ones, but you can, if you have smaller ones, take a lighter and melt the backing and then press it flat. That's a trick I've seen a lot of people use. It's really handy. I use it a lot. But these, I am very confident, will not come off. So now I take my pink blush. It's going to be a blushing bee. And now I always just go in and I do 2 little loops for the blush. Go in. Let's do his other side. And you can do more blush or less blush or no blush, especially if it's for like a little boy. I don't know, I think a blushing bee is cute. Okay, see? And then what I always do is I just secure it too with a couple loops. That one's kind of short. That's okay. Okay. All right, let's get back to the bee. So we're gonna do 2 rounds of just single crochets. So this is 6 and 7. And we're just gonna go all the way around. And you can, I've seen people do bees in every color of the rainbow, and rainbow bees for that matter. I've seen it all. Me personally, unless someone specifically asks for a different color, I just make yellow and black. They're a lot more easily identifiable as a bee, and it draws people's attention because bees are brightly colored yellow and black. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love a good bumblebee? They're so stinking cute. Especially the wood bees. Like, they're just harmless. They don't sting, and they're super fuzzy, except they chew holes in wood. But they're so cute. Kind of reminds me of a wood bee. It's just fuzzy. This yarn is so fuzzy. I love working with this blanket yarn. It's just so soft. Okay, and then whenever you get done with rows 6 and 7, before you finish that last stitch, just go ahead and change back to black, pick it up, pull it through, slip stitch into your first single crochet of the row. Now we're on row 8. Guess what? We're gonna half double. You're right, all the way around for the second black stripe. And we're just gonna go all the way around with the black for another row. Oops, it happens. All right. Now, before you finish the last stitch of this row, you can go ahead and cut your black yarn. Oh yeah, you can break this yarn with your hands, but you need scissors for this too. I guess I should have had them sitting out, but you need scissors. And then before I grab my yellow, I do exactly what I did when I started the black yarn. I just do a knot right here, just to secure the end inside the bee. And then we're gonna slip stitch to the first half double crochet of this one. All right, round 9 is single crochet all the way around. This thing is only 12 rows. Rounds. Row, I guess, is back and forth. If you turn your work, I guess it's rows. These are rounds. I guess I should have been calling them rounds the whole time. You know what I mean. I know what I mean. We're making this thing Okay. Get in there. What are you doing? There we go. All right. So now, got the length of the bead done. Now we're going to start our decreasing rows. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So row 10, we're going to single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decrease. Okay? And then we're going to do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to decrease. Slip stitch. Okay, so that took us from 21 rows, or I'm sorry, 21 rows, 21 stitches to 18. So now we're going to single crochet and decrease. Single crochet, 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 decrease. Nor my knot, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease. Okay. So that took us from 18 single crochet to 12 single crochet. So before our last row, you're going to want to stuff it with polyfill. And this just depends on your preference, how much you stuff it. If you want it really firm, go ahead and stuff it really well. Now, if your stitches are a little looser, you may not want to stuff it too tightly because then you'll be able to see it through your stitches. Me personally, I kind of like a happy medium, so I'll stuff it kind of in the middle. It's fairly stuffed, but it still has quite a bit of squish to it because it's just, that's the most fun thing. And the kids, when I'm set up at shows and events and markets and stuff, kids will just run up and just grab something and then they'll just squeeze it. It's just so squeezable. It's so squishy. It's so, I don't know, satisfying to squish it. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more. So somewhat firm, but still really squishable. Takes a little bit of effort to squish it. Okay, so once you have enough to satisfy you, your last row is gonna be all decrease all the way around. So you have 12 stitches all the way around. So we're just going to decrease, decrease, decrease. That's 3, 4, 5, and then yarn barf. I don't need you. I don't need all that. I just need one more stitch. Okay, 6. So we went from 12 to 6 by decreasing in every one around. And then you slip stitch to the first one, you chain one, and you finish off. No, you do not need a long tail. I think mine's about 7 or 8 inches, probably too long. And it's about this time that I usually realize I probably want just a little bit more stuffing. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay. All right. So now what is called the ultimate finish, and if you need a tutorial on that, you can find one. They're pretty easy to find, but I'll just show you real quick. If you just go in the top loop all the way around, so go from outside to inside, go through the top loops of all the stitches all the way around, and there's 6, so you'll go around 6 times, and then you just pull it tight. Don't pull it too hard, it'll snap. You just pull it till it closes, and then I just kind of loop it around a couple times and tie a knot. And then I hide the tail inside the bee. And I hate having scrap yarn, so I usually just keep sewing until the tail's gone. Told you my tail was too long. It always is. Have you ever run out? I mean, it's not a joke. You don't have a long enough tail to sew in your end. Okay, there's the bee. So just stay there, behave. All right, we're gonna do the wings. Now this is also a personal preference. If you use the same size hook, which I've been using an eye, me personally, I think the wings turn out just a little bit too big for my liking. You can try it and see how you like it, but I always switch to a G for the wings, just for this particular bee. I tried it with an I, and it's personally just too big for me. So the wings, we're gonna make 2, obviously. So magic circle, chain 1. We're gonna do 9 single crochets inside the magic circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, pull it tight. Okay, now I hate sewing in ends later, so before I slip stitch to the first single crochet, I just grab and I just carry my tail through. If you are not good at that or can't do that or don't want to do that, that's totally fine. Just sew in your ends later. I just go. So in the next row, we're going to single crochet increase all the way around, and that's going to give us 18 stitches. And some of you might not be able to easily use this size hook with this yarn. I've heard a lot of people say it hurts their hands. I probably wasn't able to do this when I first started working with blanket yarn. It's just a personal preference I have. I tried several different combinations of 1 row for the wings, 2 rows for the wings, half doubles, doubles, this hook size, that hook size. I have a bee that has itty bitty teeny tiny wings like that caterpillar off of Bug's Life. Oh, I'm a beautiful butterfly. And then some that have the wings are way too big and it looks janky. So this is where I settled. So after we're gone all the way around, we have 18 stitches. Go ahead and slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row, and you can go ahead and cut it, and you do not have to leave a long tail. 6 inches maybe, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna put that there. All right, next wing. Yes, it's the same way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pull it tight. Slip stitch. Okay. Oh, I did not pull that tight enough. Let's go back. Sometimes, okay. It'll be like that. All right. So for the second wing, it's the same thing. Magic circle, and you do 9 single crochets inside the magic circle. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A little trick is when you're doing the first row on a magic circle, do it just a tiny bit looser than you like, because it's a lot easier to pull this tight. And it still didn't want to pull tight for me. Let's see. There it goes. There it goes. Whew. That was a close one. Okay, now we're gonna slip stitch. One, 2. There it is. 3, 4. Couldn't find my loop for a second. 6. Struggle is real with this. 8. One time, actually, I made a black and red bee, and his wings were black. I forgot who ordered that. Maybe nobody ordered it. Maybe I just made that. Oh, I know. My husband requested it. He loves red and black. My son does too, so that's okay. It looks really cool. Okay, 17, 18. My tail was a little long, so I didn't get to tuck it all the way in, so I'm just gonna cut it off. Choop. Okay. Now, on the second wing, before you finish off, what I do, it just makes my life easier. You got both your wings, put them right sides together, and line them up just like this. Go in both of them. Go in the single crochet there and the single crochet on this one. Loosely slip stitch and do it in the next stitches. Go through both of them and slip stitch, and then the third one. Go through and slip stitch. Then chain one, fasten off. Now on this, leave the tail a little bit longer because that's how we're gonna sew the wings on. So this way, that way you don't have to sew both wings on separately. I really don't like sewing stuff. I will do anything to make my life easier. And this is also a personal preference of me using the metal, because I have all sorts of different ones. I have the plastic ones, the finishing needle. I have the plastic needle that comes with the knitting machines. I've really tried to use them. I really don't like them. Blanket yarn goes through this eye fairly easily. It's just a lot better, and I don't have to be it's not fragile. I don't have to be delicate with it. Them other ones I've had break. Okay, so thread the long tail, not the short tail. That's just gonna be used to tie a knot. And then you just take your needle and line it up between his eyes and go in slightly this way, because we're gonna sew the wings on in this little square. So just go in kind of toward this eye. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. So now we're just gonna kind of go in the side of the wing through here and go that way. Okay. And then we're gonna go back in the same spot we went in the B. Move this tail out the way, go in the back of the wings, pull it, and go between these two. Okay, and then just go through the sides of the wings here. So I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. So it's just ever so slightly closer to this eye now. So it ends up being centered. And then you go through the front of the wings. Okay. All right. Now, these wings in particular are wanting to twist this way a little bit. So, to fix it, just gonna pull it around to the back and go in this way. Kind of pulls it. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the short tail, tie it here, gonna knot it again, and yes, again, I like knots. Okay, and then you're just gonna take you've already got it threaded, you're just gonna tuck in your tails. Okay, cut your scrap. Where are you at? There you go. Okay. Okay. I don't know why it's still wanting to twist a little bit, but that's okay. So this is what it looks like when we're done. We have a bee with wings, and you can see, again, if your preference is for the wings to be a little bit bigger, use a bigger hook size. Stick with the eye we used for the body, but this is with size G. It's a little bit trickier to make, but there's our bee. Looks just like the one I showed you in the beginning. And there we are. So, happy bee making, and just remember, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.